Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Madam, and I'm coming back to you once again. This time we're going to go over to Complex, and this is about Diddy's mother. She has released a statement. My son is not the monster that they have painted him to be. Janice Combs said she was profoundly saddened that people believe lies about her son. I will list the article writer and all of the details in the description as I always do. But the article starts off by saying Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, has released a statement defending her son amidst the SA and trafficking allegations that have landed him in jail. Combs wrote that she's profoundly saddened by the public lynching and heartbroken over how people are choosing to believe the narratives about Diddy. My son may not have been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he has ever gotten violent with an ex-girlfriend when the hotel surveillance showed otherwise. Combs wrote regarding the footage of her son attacking Cassie in a hotel hallway that was released last summer. Sometimes the truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to omit one part of the story, especially when that truthfully is outside of the norm, is too complicated to believe, she added. She continued, it is important to recognize none of us, regardless of our status, are immune to fear or mistakes. Not being entirely straightforward about one issue does not mean my son is guilty of the repulsive allegations and the grave charges leveled against him. Many individuals who were wrongly convicted and later exonerated have their freedom taken from them. That not because they were guilty of the crimes they were accused of, but because they didn't fit the image of what this society considers to be a good person. Okay? Combs explained that she won't forget the jokes that people are making while her son's life is crumbling for everyone to witness. According to Combs, the lies that people have said about Diddy are not for justice, but instead for financial gain. Okay. She also asked for supporters, fans, colleagues, and friends and the public to be fair and hear Diddy's side before passing judgment on him, stating that he's not the monster they have painted him to be. And that is the end of the article right there. Miss Combs, Janice Combs, she has came out in defense of her son, rightfully so. That is her son. You could take this a couple of ways. People are going to look at that was like, maybe it's just, a motherly instinct to protect her children, which it is. In fathers, let's not forget that too. Some people will go to the ends of the earth and back for their children. However, if that, what she stated, is entirely the truth about, the video surveillance about Cassie and things of that nature, then why didn't he just come out and publicly say that? It's a way to do it. And, this is not something that, nobody in life has ever not heard. Regardless of how she, wants to defend her son, she cannot defend her son against the allegations of abuse that he did against Cassie. Everything else should be and will be determined in the court of law. I believe every person has a right to their just due in their day in court, to be judged by their peers or a judge, however, whichever way they choose to go in terms of the court proceedings. However, you cannot sit there and say it's a lie that he was putting his hands on Cassie. And I'm just talking about Cassie and him abusing her in that video. You know, I mean, it's so many things that are being speculated at this time, and everybody should listen to everything with a grain of salt. Yes, that is true. However, when a video comes out of Sean Combs literally running like a lunatic down the hallway, clutching his hand in a towel and the other hand to grab this woman and yank her back with so much force that her head hits the ground, and then proceed to literally kick and punch this woman, and then proceeds to drag this woman back where she ran from, and then on top of that throw something in this woman's direction. You can't say that that's a lie, ma'am. I'm sorry. You can't say that's a lie. Your son has a problem. He has a real problem. He cares more. It seems like, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that believes this, and I'm not trying to sway anybody's opinion or perception of, Sean Combs, but you can't sit there and say that he didn't care more about his reputation more than the physical and mental turmoil, the abuse, for over a decade that on and off that Cassie went through. The constant living in fear of what, he may do if something doesn't go his way, or if it's not agreeable to him. He been had a problem. This is a pattern. This is not just a single solitary situation. Given what has been, publicly shared with the public, you are saying that it's lies. That's not a lie, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nobody, like you said, shouldn't be no less, held accountable for the things that they've done. And from judging from that video, he should have been held accountable for that long time ago. Not only that, this man act like it never happened. Everybody was riding Cassie like, oh, it's a money grab. She's just bitter. She's just jealous. This, that, and the dirt. But at the same time, when that video came out, what? Oh, nobody couldn't say nothing then. They can't say it's a money grab then. That woman was tormented. She was tormented. And one of the worstest ways that you could ever do to a human being, regardless if it's a man or a woman, the mere fact that she still is living a productive life and finding some sense of peace is amazing within itself. That woman is battle tested, and trust and believe, Sean Combs definitely put her through her paces. So when you say a lie, what are you saying is a lie? Are you saying that Cassie lied? I understand that everything else has to be tried in the court, but you can't stop people from having their opinions. You can't stop people from feeling a certain type of way. Like, who taught him it was okay to beat on women like that? Who taught him that it was more important to protect his brand and his reputation more than the life of another human being? More than the physical health, the mental health of another human being. Either way you slice it, that's not right. It's not right. And it's not right. And it's nothing that nobody can say to justify what happened to Cassie. And I'm not going to dwell into all the other stuff, all the allegations. And yes, it was a X amount of bottles of baby oil found in this house and things of that nature. I believe that if that's your thing and it's in a consensual, keyword consensual atmosphere with two consenting adults, then fine, do what you do, as long as don't nobody get hurt. But obviously that wasn't the case, so I'm trying to figure out where's the lie in terms of that. I'm not going to address anything else, because anything else until I see hard facts, just like we seen that video on CNN, everybody's seen it, or what he did to Cassie in that hotel room, that hallway, excuse me. It should be handled appropriately. It should be evidence to back up the facts, regardless of what side of the fence you jumping on. But for you to sit up there and say, "Oh, I'm not going to forget the people that," I hope you don't forget the people that, you know what I'm saying, that's dragging your son through the mud. Because instead of you focusing on the public and what they got to say and their perception of him, he did a pretty good job of screwing that up himself with that Cassie thing. He did a very good job of doing that, even if that's the only thing that man has ever done. And the court finds that he's not liable for anything else that he's being accused of. That right there, Cassie should have justice. He should have to atone for what he did. Any person that thinks it's okay to put their hands on a person like that, it's a problem. I don't care what your status is. I don't care what you build. I don't care what you contributed to hip hop culture, whatever. I don't care about none of that. That was a human being at the end of the day. That's somebody's daughter at the end of the day. That's somebody's, auntie, cousin, sister, whatever. At the end of the day, I would be more concerned about the people that he chose to align himself with. Because apparently that's who showed him the tricks of the trade. It wasn't the public that showed him that. And I'm just being honest. I'm not coming down on anybody. I'm not dragging anybody. I'm not pointing a finger at anybody. But at the same time, instead of you being mad at the public, hon, you should definitely be looking at the people that he chose to align himself with. Because apparently birds of a feather flock together. And they think that and some people may have thought that it was okay to do that to another human being. Regardless if it was a man or a woman, period. Nobody should ever be treated like that. You wouldn't want to be treated like that. I definitely wouldn't want to be treated like that. So, at the end of the day, what do you expect people to do? And people are you said people are going to, use this for profit. I mean, it's media. It's media. Anytime somebody published a article about Sean Combs and it was in a good light when he did this or when he did that or when he donated or he did this charity or he started revolt and things like that, and it was favorable, that's still media. People still got paid off of that at the end of the day. So tell me, what's the difference between before all of this stuff came out and he was seen as a mogul and this powerhouse and entrepreneur, self-made black man, black excellence, to now? People still made money off of that. People still ate off of that. See, you got to look at it in terms of people are going to make money off of it regardless if it's good news or bad news, regardless if it's good publicity or bad publicity. People still gonna eat off of it. People still gonna make money off of it. Magazines still sold when, he was on magazine covers, or, he was branded with Ciroc, or he was partnered up with this foundation and that foundation and this company and that company, and it was all good press. It was all love. I don't think it's really a thing about people profiting off of what's going on now about him. I think it's about his reputation being trashed. I think it's more, you know, I'm just assuming. Forgive me, I'm just assuming, but it's not about people profiting off of your son, because your son has basically been profiting off of people for a long time. Whether it was good business or bad business, who's to say? I wasn't there in the room when the deals went down or however it turned out. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is, it's more about his reputation being trash. And I'm trying to tell you that I think he did a good job at trashing his own reputation. As far as that thing with Cassie is concerned. You know? I mean, until everything else comes out, until we have hard facts, I really don't know. So I'm not going to speak on it. But that thing with Cassie, yeah. He threw his whole reputation, career, all that in the trash. He should have been came to atonement for that. You know? How about having some sympathy or some empathy for her as a victim? She's a surviving victim. The mere fact that she's still able to live a productive life and go on with her life and find some sort of peace means that she is battle tested. She has fought and probably still fighting now to maintain. You know, that just doesn't go away just because you stop messing with a person. That is years upon years, or up until the day that, you know, she expires. That is a lifelong thing that she has to live with. And the only thing that she probably wanted was somebody them to treat her right. Come on. I understand loving your child and going to bat for your child, but when they wrong, they wrong. I know that's easier said than done, and most people would jump at the chance to do anything to save their kids, but at sometimes you gotta let your kids fall on their ass. You gotta let your kids get locked up. You gotta let your kids suffer them consequences that they put themselves in, because they individuals. And when they become grown, they are people. You can't fix everything. You can't solve everything. Sometimes you got, as they say, you got to let them jump out the nest. And he definitely jumped out the nest and off the porch. You got to let that, whatever happens on that, for real. Or he will wind up destroying more lives than his own, which, according to the things that have been published, not saying that they're true, not saying they're not true, he has destroyed many lives. So what goes up must come down. Plain and simple. But I don't know, you guys. Let me know what you think. Drop down in the comment section. I would definitely love to hear from you. Let me know how you feel about that. Do you feel that she is right and fair to defend her son? I truly do feel like she is right and fair to defend her son. That does not make her son innocent. That does not make her son guilty. But as far as that Cassie thing, he guilty as hell. Point blank, period. And he should have atonement for that. And she should be able to have peace for that. And she should be able, Cassie should have peace, and she should have justice for that. So, let me know down in the comments how you feel about it. Come chop it up with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And with that, you guys, thank you so much. I do appreciate you watching the video. Until then, I'll talk to you later.